and every athlete is a gladiator.
From the right side, makes a look at the backhand and score!
What do you want?
Again, pushing his way, pushed off tackler.
And get the second goal of the game for Thomas Habib.
Nice little move, Buffy scores!
Passing him forth and they score!
You know what we want. To immortalize every moment and make sure you never miss a play. This is Maritime Athletic Profiles.
Never miss a play. Tonight we've gathered to enjoy and celebrate the Creators Game. Before the open face-off, the Wolves Lacrosse Association, the Wolves Junior A team will honor the Creators Game by presenting the Acknowledgement of Mi'kmaq Territory Mi'kmaq Honor Song. Please, if you're able, rise and direct your attention to the flags at the end of the arena for the presentation, the acknowledgement, and the honor song.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand. Prior to the singing of our national anthem, the ECWJLL would like to acknowledge that the land on which we gather is the ancestral and unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. Acknowledging that we are in Mi'kmaqi, the traditional ancestral territory of the Mi'kmaq people, is a way of showing respect for and honoring our shared history and shared treaty relationship. Our relationship based on peace and friendship. It is very important that we continue to recognize our shared history.
Standing for the presentation of O Canada.
And welcome everybody to another ECJLL female lacrosse game coming to you today for the first and probably the only time this season from the Greenfoot Energy Center in lovely Bedford, Nova Scotia. As we get set for today's match, it's your Wolves hosting the St. John Rapids as they come to the Greenfoot Energy Center today. And St. John, they do a road trip every second weekend and host teams every other weekend, as they're on the road today and they're looking to get a win on the board here. St. John is after giving Dartmouth, congratulations Dartmouth, their first win as in the junior league. But it had to come against somebody, and the Rapids were the ones. So the Rapids looking to get back in the win column here today as the Wolves are determined not to let that happen. Hovey starting off against O'Brien for the faceoff. In goal is rookie goaltender Peyton Lawler making her Junior A debut tonight. As right away off the Haas gets it over. Coming in is Mullen. Mullen up top looking for Hamilton. Comes across to Hovey with the shot. And Garland sends that off to the corner. Up with the ball is St. John. St. John hustling down the floor. Is Haas. And James St. John able to come in. St. John's quick shot scores. Wolves caught without their defense out there and made to pay by Corrigan of the St. John Rapids. St. John able to come in. St. John's quick shot scores. 19:26 remaining in the first period. It's a 1-0 St. John lead. St. John able to come in. St. John's quick shot scores. Send the Wolves back to center as it'll be Russon. Take the face-off for the Wolves. Up against O'Brien. The battle for the ball. Russell pokes it out to McRae. McRae up in behind is Coffin. Coffin in with the shot. That's a save by Garland. Loose ball. James in with a shot. That's another save. As St. John misplay on the ball there. And Hayward comes up with it. Hayward rolls off a check. Hayward passing down, looking for Swinimer there. Got the shot in. Ball comes back up over on a rebound. As Dyer down to the corner to Dietrich. Dietrich rolls out. Dietrich in with the shot. That goes off a body. Battle for the loose ball. Back to Swinimer. Swinimer trying to get in the corner there. Shot that's blocked by Kerrigan. Swinimer back up with the loose ball. Now rolling back down the floor. Garland airmails it down. Over center. Dietrich coming back to cover. As St. John gets the offense out. St. John looking to find an angle. Over for Allen. Allen hands that one off to O'Brien. O'Brien looking for a lane. O'Brien with the shot. That goes saved by Lawler. Another save by Lawler. And Lawler looks to control that rebound. Picked up, though, by McKinley. McKinley. St. John making a change. Has a challenge there by McRae. Ball picked up. Here comes Hamilton. Hamilton in. Hamilton gets the shot away and scores! Hamilton on the transition, answers back for the Wolves at 17:32 to tie us up at 1. In, Hamilton gets the shot away and scores! St. John working Hamilton on the transition, answers back and, in. Hamilton gets the shot away and scores! Run the D. Hamilton on the transition, answers back for the Wolves. And back to center we go. Hovey versus O'Brien, I believe, for St. John. As it's a 1-1 game already. Battle for the ball, Hovey. Battling for the line, we'll see who picks it up. Hovey comes up with it. Rolls off a check, but couldn't walk the tightrope there, and the ball comes back over, and that'll be St. John ball. That's St. John. Coming in. Sent back, challenged by Hannerhan. Back up, St. John. Rosson on her man. Number 9, Deacon having a hard time there. Corrigan, the goal scorer, comes up with it, but the ball knocked free by Tori Jenkins. Jenkins will not let Corrigan go. Corrigan now able to run off. Now Rosson comes in, knocks the ball free, and that does it for the shot clock. And that'll be Wolves ball as Rosson will pick that up and bring it up over center. Offense coming out for the Wolves. Rosson looking to get to Hayward. Hayward up with the ball. Ball rolls into the corner. Hayward after it. Takes a hard shove. Down, and that's number 10. Paul, I believe. No. Dugary. Got the ball free, but back in Wolves' possession it is. We'll fire that across. In towards the net. 20 seconds left on the shot clock. Shot by Hayward. And that's steered aside by Garland. Now, Dyer in. Dyer with the shot. Another save by Garland. She'll hold on. Garland airing it up, looking for Deacon. That was Desjardins. Got up over her head is McRae. Picks up that loose ball, gets it back up to Hamilton. Hamilton brings it up over center. Hamilton. Pass over to Dyer. Dyer catches Haas coming in. Haas, she's turned aside. Over for Dietrich. Dietrich looking in the slot. Quick shot. Another big save there as I think Hayward got that one away. Hovey looking to pass across to Dyer, but we got a through the crease call. And it'll be possession back to St. John. St. John hustling down along the boards as Dietrich trying to pop that ball free. Nora Haas giving number 6 there a hard time. Lawler picks that one up out of her crease. Now Lawler. Pass over. McRae gets that up to Mullen. Mullen over for James. James holds up, looking to find Martin. Martin coming across. Martin loads, fire shot, and a save there by Garland. Martin back up with the ball again. Pass that over, handcuffed Mullen a bit. Mullen picks it up from the corner. Mullen rolling up top. Mullen trying to find lane, gets a shot in. Garland turns that to side. Martin with the shot. Hard shot. Garland steers that aside as well. Shooting gallery here for the Wolves. But Garland equal to it. James looking to find coming in is Martin. Martin again trying to go over the shoulder. Another save by Garland. Pass up St. John. Gets it up to 13. Brow. Brow. Pass across to Allen. Deacon, sorry. Deacon puts the shot in. And that's snagged in the stick of Lawler. Lawler airmails it up. Looking to catch Swinmer in alone. She'll take that off the boards and they'll get the offense on. Swinmer passes up. High hit there. Looked like to Rosson. It's Hovey battling for the ball in the corner. Hovey trying to get away. Desjardins puts the lumber on her. Hovey gets a nice pick from Schwinnemer. And the shot clock goes. St. John ball coming over up over center. Pass across. Catches Deacon coming in. Deacon rolls off a hit. Deacon crossover for the mystery 21. Do apologize to St. John as the roster I had was from the first week and it's changed since. Pass across. McRae on a stick check, able to pick that up. McRae turns and looks up to get it up to Hayward. Hayward will have to chase that one down as Garland comes over net to pick up the ball. Garland now looks for the quick up to number 40. That's Harrigan. But that gets by. And Hamilton will pick that up. Jenkins with a nice little pick. And up we go to Dyer. Maddie Dyer with the ball. Holds up, gets the offense in play. Cross for Swinnemer. Swinnemer in with a low shot. That goes wide. Loose ball. And that'll come back over center. So that will be St. John ball. Inside Wolves territory. As we got Hannerhan, Norris, James, Russo, and Dyer out for the defense. Corrigan, the goal scorer, coming around. Her pass. It goes back up off the boards and back over center. So that'll be Wolves ball coming back the other way. 12:14 remaining in the first period. 1-1 is the score. As the Wolves, Hannerhan gets them set up in the offense. Mullen down low, coming out. Rosson looking for a cross. And tight. Mullen shot. That's high and wide. Martin up with the ball. Loose ball to the boards. Hannerhan looking to snag that one down. Hannerhan taking in the boards from behind. That's an illegal contact because she didn't have the ball. So it's Wolves ball as Haas comes on. The elder Haas. Here's Hannerhan with the shot and a save by Garland. Rosson with the ball off the boards. Rosson being harassed. Puts it back into the corner. Rosson back on the ball. Or that was Haas! Haas with a quick shot. Found the lane up the center and puts that one. The rubber to the twine and puts the Wolves up by 1. On the quick shot, comes around coverage. She loaded up as she was coming around the coverage and didn't give Garland a chance to set. And like that, with 11:25 remaining in the first period, it's a 2-1 Wolves lead. Here we go, back to center. St. John looking to come up with that ball. St. John, O'Brien works her way in against the Wolves. O'Brien looking for a lane. Pass that one off. St. John challenged by Dyer. Indecision will drive him to the boards, and McKinley is getting pushed. McKinley has to offload it to Allen. But now, coming back the other way is Dyer. Dyer and the Wolves. Dyer shoots, shoot, and gets this goal. Dyer looks pass, and then shoot. Able to pull the goalie off the post and come back the other way. She's looking pass all the way and then pulls the trigger. And just like that, it's a 3-1 game with 10:46 remaining in the first period as the Wolves in the lead. Hovey versus O'Brien at center as we get this set up. Here we go. Battle for the ball. Haas comes in for it. Hovey comes up with it. Hovey down low. Right in front. Shot by James. That's a save by Garland. James back after the ball. Hovey comes up with it. Hovey. Fake shot. Turns, fires. That goes wide. Picked up from the corner. Mullen looking for a way in. Mullen with the shot. Garland missed the save, and that goes up and out of play. The Wolves ball from the corner. Right back up to Mullen. Mullen to Swinimer with the shot. No, that's Hamilton. Not the best rink for a play-by-play guy looking through the mesh, but played back into St. John territory. That's 17, Allen. Looks to get it up to O'Brien. O'Brien comes up over center. Met there by Hannerhan. Hannerhan giving O'Brien a hard time. Back across. Corrigan has knocked free from her basket. And up with it is McRae. McRae in behind. That got ball knocked loose. And Garland will play that as McRae was trying to chase that one down. Now Swinimer coming back for it. Picked up by Rosson. Rosson coming back up over center for the Wolves. Being held to the outside by Deacon. As Rosson looking for somebody to pass to. Rosson decides to go across, but that got broken up. Now loose ball coming. St. John in behind. St. John has Coffin. Plays the pass and holds up St. John. But Mason couldn't get the shot away. Hayward coming back down the floor now. Hayward into the zone. Pass across for James. James rolls away from a check. James back across looking for Wilkie, but that gets broken up. And we got a possession change and and a goalie water break coming at the same time. So at the break, it's Wolves 3, Rapids 1 in this. This will be the third and final regular season game between these two teams. As I'd like to thank the crew here. If you're watching this, you're watching on Maritime Athletic Profiles. Great production here with the multiple angles. Usually we're from the Sackville Arena, but today we're at the Greenfoot Energy Center in Bedford, Nova Scotia. You got to take the floor where it's available when it's needed. So this is where we are today, folks. So get set. Not quite the same views as we get back in Sackville at our own rink, but we'll take what we get as the whistle blows, and Miss Lawler will head back to the office in the crease between the pipes as we get set for the second half of the first period, with the Wolves leading 3-1, 8:26 left on the clock. As it'll be St. John ball from their own. As James gets set to make life difficult for St. John on the forecheck. Here we go. Pass up. Corrigan right away. Looking back down. Loose ball. That's scooped up. Played back up to Hayward. Hayward. As the offense comes out. Hayward. Pass over to Haas. Haas will pull that in. Haas looking to set up Mullen. Tries to get a pick for Haas. Corrigan wasn't biting. Back over. Shot in. That goes wide. As Hovey with the shot, and they'll come back down the floor. And that's a loss of possession there, as it'll go back to St. John. Hovey with the rifle. It's great when it's on net, but it's a loss of possession if it misses. Here we go. St. John rolling out from the corner. This is Mason. Mason looking for a way in towards the net. Shot, and it's a save by Lawler, and she'll control that rebound. Lawler looks at her options, airmails it down, looking for Dietrich. That gets by her as Dietrich hustles down after it, but Kat Garland, goalie for St. John, she'll pop that one up. Now, Rosson looking to get that loose ball. That's picked up by Dietrich. Dietrich stripped from her stick as they battle again for the loose ball. In comes James. St. John trying to pick that ball up off the floor. Now, coming in, St. John is number 40, Harrigan. Pass that over. 21 trying to come in with a shot. Jenkins causing all kinds of trouble. Jenkins takes stick, ball, and all away from McKinley and sends the Wolves. Jenkins cross for Dyer. Dyer rolls off a check, gets a pick. Dyer now looking to come in. Dyer trying to get in for the shot. Off to the side it goes. Low shot in. That's off the boards. Mullen able to keep it in play and plays it back in deep as the shot clock was expiring. And Garland up with the ball. Got stolen by Dyer. Dyer coming in. Dyer with the shot. That's save there. And it sounded like it hit the post from here. Now, St. John looking to get it back up the floors. Corrigan as Hovey comes up with a loose ball. Hovey now coming back down the floor. Hovey has a look. Hovey waits for the offense to come on. Hovey now trying to get across to Dietrich. Dietrich. Ball goes loose. Picked up by number 10. It's another mystery number to me. No, Duguerry, actually. But have an illegal contact. There'll be Wolves possession as Dietrich will start off the Wolves from the far corner. Dietrich rolls off a hit. James comes in for a little bit of a pick. Dietrich rolls up top. Looking for Coffin. That's a quick shot that goes wide. Loose ball. As Coffin comes up with it off the boards. Coffin drives towards the net. Coffin with the shot. That's bounces up and out of play. There'll be St. John ball. As St. John. Desjardins trying to come out, but a good back check by Wilkie. And in comes Coffin. Coffin showing pass. She chooses to shoot. And that deflects up and out of play. And it'll be Wolves ball. As Coffin passes off to Hovey. Hovey driving in. Hovey with the shot. That just, I think that skinned the post there. Swinmer rolling out from the corner. Swinmer, low shot. I can hear that one off the post. Swinmer able to get the ball back. Hovey trying to Swinmer in with the pick. Hovey puts another shot in. That's steered aside by Garland. Swinmer tries the other side of the net. Shot in. That's blocked in front. As it looks like Dyer picks it up. Dyer coming in. Dyer with the shot. That goes wide. Loose ball is Haas. Has to chase that one back. Haas keeps it on the right side of the red line. Haas now looking to fire it down in. But that's picked off. And here comes St. John. St. John might have had a quarter step there. St. John pass back across. Looking for Deacon, but that's taken away by McRae. McRae, she'll hold up and get the offense on. McRae looks at her options. Pass that over for Wilkie, but that'll have to be picked up out of the corner. Coming out of the corner is Rosson with the shot. That goes wide. Dietrich keeps the ball in play. Dietrich up top. Dietrich tries to run in, but that's moved aside. And Dugary trying to bring it out and give a reverse hit there, but the ball pops free. And a loose ball picked up by Hamilton. Hamilton coming back down the floor for the Wolves. Up over center. Hamilton pass across for Haas, but loose ball. St. John had that momentarily, but Hamilton's got it back. Pass to the side for Swinmer. Swinmer has a look back up top from Mullen. Now Hamilton in with the shot. That's off the leg in tight. No, that's off the goalie. So that'd be a fresh 30. Now Mullen again rolling out from the corner. Mullen looking for Hovey. Hovey with the shot. That's a save by Garland. Garland controls it in the crease. Now Garland pass up. Loose ball coming into Wolves territory. Hayward will scoop that up. Hayward quickly up to McRae. McRae up over center. McRae hands off to Dyer. Dyer to Wilkie, but loose ball. Dyer gets it back. Dyer rolling off another check as the shot clock ticks down. And that will be Rapids ball as Garland passes up. Looking for Fournette. Fournette carries it in. But overshot O'Brien. And Lawler will pick that up as Calder. Quick passes up to McRae and up to Hayward. Who's off to Mullen. Mullen coming around the corner. Mullen attracting attention. Back up to Haas. Haas cross over to Hovey. She was trying to catch Mullen coming in from the corner. Loose ball down low, and we got possession change to St. John as Corrigan will start off from there. Pass up. Now St. John up over center. Challenged by Mullen as O'Brien passes off to Corrigan. Corrigan being watched by Russell. Corrigan just the shot in. That's a save by Lawler. And Jenkins gets a hard hit there. Corrigan comes back up with the ball. Corrigan rolls off a hit. But Jenkins right back in there. Shot, that's blocked by the D. As Haas looking for that loose ball. Picked up by Deacon. Deacon for St. John. Deacon. Pass back across. Number 21. Over to Corrigan. Corrigan puts the shot in. And Lawler makes the save. Pass up to Hamilton. As she'll bring it back up over. She passed it up to Dyer. Dyer being held up there, but Wilkie with the ball. Wilkie rolls off Dyer, sets a pick and roll back to Dyer, but that goes across to Martin. Martin loads up shot. That's a save there as Garland able to knock that down inside. 5 seconds left in this period. Wolves leading 3-1 as and that's it for the first period of play. So after one period of play, Wolves 3, St. John's 1. As we'll take a moment here to see our sponsors, and we'll be back in about 10 minutes for the second period of action. and welcome back to the Greenfoot Energy Center as we get set for second period action here in the Wolves hosting the St. John Rapids. Wolves leading 3-1 on goals from Abby Hamilton, Cadence Haas, and Maddie Dyer. Madeline Corrigan scored the first goal of the game for the Rapids. In that first period, it was shots were 26 by the Wolves, 6 by the Rapids. As we start off here, it'll be Hovey versus O'Brien for the face-off. Start the second period, which is going to start right about now. Yep, there we go. Fell for the ball. Loose ball picked up by Haas. Cadence Haas coming down along the boards. Haas holds up, looking for Hamilton in the slot. We got a crease violation. Now we go goalie ball. Garland passes it right up again, looking for Corrigan. She's checked right away by McRae. Passed up to Hayward. Hayward slows it down, gets the offense on. Hayward passes over for Wilkie. Wilkie to Dyer. Dyer rolls up top. Dyer looking for a lane, puts a shot in. Saved by Garland. She'll control that. Garland up with the ball. Pass up to Corrigan. Sorry, that's number 13, Brow. Brow with the ball, looking for the offense. Pass across, looking for Deacon. Deacon. She's checked as she makes the shot. That goes wide as Rosson. Or that's James. Slips away. James, quick pass up to Hayward. Hayward catches Martin coming off the bench. Martin gathers up the ball. Now Martin looking for options across to Dietrich. Dietrich gets that under control. Dietrich rolls up top. Dietrich driving towards the net. Dietrich with the shot! And that bounced just wide. As Haas goes to hold it in. The shot clock expires. And McKinley with the ball, but Haas knocks that free. Haas in the corner looking for that loose ball. Haas comes up with it. Haas now slows down as the Wolves put the offense back on. Down low to Mullen. Mullen rolls back up top. Gets a pick from Wilkie. Mullen in with a shot. That's I think McKinley took that right off the helmet there, and she's feeling the effects of that one. Mullen with a quick shot. Scores! Mullen on the pass from Wilkie. Able to slip that one in short side and extends the Wolves' lead 4-1. So Mullen with the quick release on the pass before Garland could get set. Finds the back of the twine, and then with that, it's a 4-1 game as the Wolves send the Rapids back to center. Battle at center. In comes Dyer. She comes up with a loose ball. Dyer. In the Haas! Coffin right at the net. Now, Dietrich rolls back up top. Dietrich looks for options. Hands off to Rosson. Rosson to Hayward. Hayward rolls back up top looking for a lane. That's broken up by Deacon. Now Hayward. Cross for Swinimer. Swinimer trying to get around Corrigan. Swinimer in tight. Shot saved by Garland. And it's through the crease is the call, so they'll go possession. Corrigan will start off for the Rapids. Up to Brow. Brow quickly off to Frenette. Frenette coming in wide. And Frenette pass that across. That's broken up by the Wolves. Hustling back down the floor, Nora Haas, defensive specialist. Haas drives in, and James lays down the shoulder, legal contact. And Frenette will start off for St. John. Frenette Plays it up, but that's picked off by McRae. McRae in behind all alone. McRae coming in on the breakaway. McRae, shot! That goes wide. McRae going low corner. And there we go. Rapids ball. There's Allen. Passes that up, but that's picked off again by McRae. McRae this time takes around behind the net. McRae, one hand pass across. Almost catches James there. James up with the ball now. James. As Swinimer takes up residence on the doorstep. Crosses Hayward. Hayward turns and fires. That's a save. In tight again, and ball comes out, and that's through the crease, so it'll be St. John's ball. As Garland will pass it up from behind your net. But that's called an in and out now. As he'll come back. Wolves possession. As Hamilton brings in Hamilton. Down to the corner, up to Coffin. Coffin has the shot. Save. Coffin now rolls out around the crease. Coffin turns, fire, scores! Coffin and Garland not too happy about how smooth that net moves on that. As Garland fell into the net. It's not along the line. That doesn't matter in lacrosse, though. And Coffin takes advantage of that. As when Garland took the step back, the post wasn't there, and Coffin finds the gap, puts the entwine, and just like that, it's a 5-1 lead for the Wolves. Whew. That speaker is loud right behind me. Up with it is Brow. Brow passes that up. Looking for McKinley. But coming back in are the Wolves. Mullen hammers a shot. That goes wide. And the ball goes up and out of play. As Hayward will leave it there for Fournette to start off. As soon as Fournette touched that ball, Hayward was right on her. James hustling in. James has Hayward heading for the net. James pass off to Mullen. She can't take it cleanly. Mullen rolls back up top now. Mullen loads up, fires, and a big save there by Garland. As the Wolves continue to punish the Rapids, but hustling down there is Harrigan after that loose ball. Wilkie fighting for it. Jenkins takes her man right to the boards, pops that ball free. Fight for the loose ball, 10 seconds left in the shot clock. And Lawler will scoop that up. Lawler passes that up to Hamilton. Hamilton coming back down the floor. Hamilton loads up, fires, and a save by Garland. She wasn't sure of that one. She got the shoulder up on it. As Swinimer battles for the ball down the corner. As Duggery tries to come up with it. Swinimer does come up with it. Swinimer rolls up top. Swinimer with the shot. That's another save. Haas able to snag that ball. Haas now coming in. Haas looking for Rosso in front. That's scooped up by Dietrich. Popped out of her stick right away. And looking to come back down, but St. John can't hold the handle on that. Rosso up with the ball. Rosso has Haas and the younger Garland trade chops. And the ref said enough of that. And we'll have our first penalties of the game here at 13:50 remaining in the second period. It's a 5-1 Wolves lead. As 2 minutes for slashing to Ms. Haas and 2 minutes for slashing to Ms. Garland. As we'll go to 4-on-4 for 2 minutes. As Coffin comes out to start off. Coffin rolling in against Fournette. Coffin goes for a walk around behind the net. Up for Dyer. Dyer. She's tied up right away by O'Brien. Dyer. In with the shot. Garland makes the save. Dyer gets the loose ball off the boards. Now Dyer Down low to Dietrich. Dietrich looking to roll back up top. Dietrich to Coffin. Coffin turns and fires. That just went wide. Hovey hustles after that ball, able to keep it in play. 15 seconds left on the shot clock. Hovey looking for answer. Hovey in with a shot. That just goes wide past Mullen. Coffin, her shot up and over the net. On the bounce. Coffin back. Has to get the shot away. That misses. And just like that, out comes Allen and the Rapids. Allen over center. Pass down. Rapids Hull. Looking back up top. Loose ball. And coming right onto that is Wilkie. Wilkie. In with the shot. Rebound. Hayward comes up with it. Hayward from behind. To Mullen. Mullen fires a shot. And Garland makes that save and keeps it in the crease as Garland puts the pass up. But Calder fighting for the loose ball. Calder had it momentarily. Now McRae get checked as she was trying to get the pass up. McRae follows up, able to snag that loose ball as she takes a high stick at the boards. No call. As Martin trying to get around Desjardins. Martin in. Martin loose fires. And Martin beat everybody but Garland on that one. And a low shot by Wilkie, and she finds the back of the twine. 11:46. Wilkie puts the 6th goal in for the Wolves. As Martin rebound, Wilkie snagged and right back in. And low to the corner on the short side. As we get going here. So, here we go. Back. Loose ball. Fell for the loose ball as Brow trying to get a stick on it. Hovey comes up with it. Hovey. Quick up looking for Mullen. Mullen has James at the doorstep but couldn't make the connection. Garland takes control. Now Garland plays that up to Allen. Allen trying to get down the floor for Brow. Brow able to come up with the ball for the Rapids. Brow looking in. Has Deegan. Deegan with the shot, and Paul Lawler makes the save. Lawler not busy, but she's got to be sharp when she has the chance. Ball comes back over center. As Jenkins battles all the way down in. Jenkins. Some rare time for Jenkins in the offensive zone as the defensive specialist. Gets the ball over for Dietrich. Nicely done, Tori. As Dietrich back across. Swimmer in. Swimmer, tight shot. And saved by Garland. It was a through the crease violation. It'll be a ball to right up. Garland. Ball knocked free. As Duggery trying to look for that ball. Still a battle for the loose ball. Everybody's in there, it looks like. Harrigan now fighting with Hamilton. And finally picked up by Calder. Calder gets it quickly up out of the zone for McRae. McRae looking across for James. She's checked. It's McRae. Tripped over James and coming back the other way is Fournette. Fournette looking for a cross for Deacon. Deacon can't get the shot away. That's broken up. And now we got a penalty coming back the other way, it looks like. Coming to St. John as Lawler hits for the net. And James, her shot, that goes wide. They get deflected off a defender in front. Hamilton comes up with, Hamilton fires it on net. That goes to the corner now as Corrigan. As soon as she gets it, the whistle blows. And we got a slashing call coming to the Rapids here. 9:33 remaining in the second period. And it's a 6-1 lead As thought they'd do the TV timeout here, but maybe they won't. James comes out to start off the power play. First power play of the game for the Wolves. First power play of the game altogether, I guess, as James comes up center. Mullen at the corner, down low to Haas. Haas walks it behind the net. Haas looking for James up top. Doesn't connect, and that'll be a back over. And that'll go Rapids ball from the Wolves territory. 1:45 remaining in the Wolves power play as the Rapids will look to kill this as much time off as possible. Wolves double team Corrigan as the younger Haas comes up with the ball. Haas coming back down the floors.
Number 9, Ryan Deacon, 2 minutes for slashing, 9:33 remaining in.
Comes up Swinimer will take control in the offensive zone for the Wolves. Swinimer now. Up top. Has a look as Hamilton comes to join the party. Hamilton takes her position up top to Wilkie on the corner. Back to Hamilton. Hamilton in motion looking for Dietrich in tight. Dietrich turns and fires. That's up over the crossbar as Desjardins comes up with the ball. Swinimer takes her hard into the boards. Dietrich gets in there as well. Ball loose as St. John desperate to get out of their zone, but Hamilton comes up with a loose ball. Wolves set back up to Wilkie. Wilkie down low to Dietrich to the corner at Wilkie. Back up top to Hamilton. Corner, Wilkie in motion now. Wilkie cross to Swinimer. Swinimer comes in, fires. And Garland makes the save. Garland up with the ball. Has a look. Garland looks to fire it down, but Swinimer with the interception. And right back, 26 seconds left in the power play. Hands off to Hamilton. Hamilton down low to Dietrich. Dietrich rolls out from the corner. Hamilton, Dietrich sets the pick. Hamilton across. Low shot by Hovey. That misses the net. And Hamilton able to snag that, keep it in. 5 seconds left in the power play as Hamilton looking for a shot. Garland makes the save. Rebound shot. That goes wide. Dietrich rolls up top. Doesn't see a lane. Holds up. Back to 5-on-5 now as Dietrich rolls up top. Dietrich cross for Hovey. Hovey coming in. Hovey with the shot. And that's bounces wide as Swinimer comes back up with the ball. Swinimer for Dietrich. Dietrich turns and fires. That's another save there by Garland. As running on to that, it's McKinley. McKinley hustling down the floor. She has to hold up. The Wolves D gets out in time. As McKinley gets a help out with a pick. Pass across for Deacon. Goes off the boards. And illegal contact. And now we get our TV timeout. As the goalies will get a little bit of water. Have a little walk.
Let's call this 50-50 winning ticket number right now. Pink and white ticket. 289-74558. If you had that winning ticket number, come see me during the second intermission.
So far, the total shots in the game are 41 for Sackville, 7 for the Rapids. The Rapids only with a single shot so far in the second period. But they've been on their heels with killing off that penalty. But the Wolves have been able to jump out with another 3 goals this period. Goal scorers being Sophia Mullen, Violet Coffin, and Kat Wilkie. That puts 6 goals on the board, 6 different goal scorers for the Wolves. As there's no there's no easy shifts playing against this Wolves team as they get set to go with 6:47 remaining in the second period. The goalies head back to their respective crease, and we get set for the start of the second. As thank you for taking some time out of your Sunday afternoon to watch this production of Maritime Athletic Profiles. Coming to you from the Greenfoot Energy Center. My name's Larry McVicker. Larry Cherry, as the kids have called me since COVID, as we get set to go and to do this. But as always, if I don't say it later, I hope you have as much fun watching this as we have bringing it to you. And if you don't like the commentary, just remember you control the volume as we get set here. Hayward over to James. James in motion. James coming to the crease. James is shot and a save by Garland. Stepped into that one. Coffin coming up with a loose ball. Coffin rolls back up top. James looks to set the pick. Cross for Mullen. Mullen with the shot. That just went wide. Mullen picks her own rebound up off the boards. James forced to the outside by Deacon. Or Fournette, sorry. Coffin looking to chop that one free is Harrigan looking to get back down the floor, and that comes back over. So it'll be Rapids ball. Rapids now over center. Gets up to just past Brow, going into the corner. This is Deacon this time, fighting for that ball, but coming up with it is Calder. Getting up to Haas. Nora Haas looking across the older sister, but that's picked off by Fournette. Fournette hustling down. Elder Haas. The Haas sisters are after her, and Fournette is in trouble, but she's able to get away from that. Here we go. As McKinley looking for a way in. Cross. And a shot by Fournette. That's blocked in front. As the clock ticks down, 5 seconds left in the shot clock. Pass comes across. And at that, it'll be Wolves ball. As I think Deacon got away with one there, shooting the ball down to the corner after the whistle. As Hamilton will jog out over center. The Wolves on the offense. Hamilton looking down for Hovey. Funny bounce off the boards, loose ball. Harrigan comes up with it for St. John. It's Dietrich on the forecheck. Able to knock the ball free, but right back at you, Duggery. But Hovey comes up with the ball. Hovey cross for Wilkie. Wilkie driving in towards Wilkie with the shot, and Garland made the save there. Stick save. It's a nice hard low shot. Dietrich with the shot. That just goes wide. Dietrich picks up her own rebound. Dietrich right in. And Garland using her head makes that save there as Dietrich comes close twice. And number 16, Mason, trying to come in for St. John. That ball stripped free as Brow tries to come onto it. Brow trying to get in. Brow caught on the wrong hand now. Brow coming across, shot. And Lawler makes the save and holds on. 4 minutes left in the second period. 6-1, the Wolves lead over the St. John Rapids. As James will come over center. James now. First to the outside by Harrigan. James. Pick and roll over to Coffin. Coffin. Cross to Hayward. Hayward in with the shot. And Garland makes a huge save there. And that's a back in as the St. John tapped it back into their own crease. And Coffin will start off from the corner for the Wolves in the offensive zone. Coffin rolls up top. Coffin with the shot. Oh, that bounced and off the crossbar and back down the floor as Mullen goes for a run to pick it, to retrieve the ball. And as soon as she picks it up, we'll get a fresh 30 on the clock. And back down the floor we go as Mullen coming up. Harrigan and McKinley looking to stop them from coming in, but Dyer. Her return pass, that's picked off by Desjardins. Desjardins trying to get around the corner on Dyer, and Dyer takes her hard into the boards, pops that ball free. And must have been a legal contact or a moving pick, but either way, they'll leave Fournette with the ball for St. John. As Hull shakes off a check by Jenkins. But now that's picked off, and here we go. Dyer coming down all by herself. Dyer looking. Dyer with tons of time. Shot! And a big save by Garland. Garland comes up huge and has Hovey trying to get off the boards. McKinley gives her a poke. Hovey now coming up across the crease. Hovey turns, fires. That bounces up and over the net and out of play. As O'Brien brings the ball back down the floor. O'Brien held up at center by McRae, but now the ball goes in. Brow, we're going to pick that off the boards. And McRae leading in with the shoulder. Brow comes up. Brow in with the shot, and a save by Lawler. Rosson up with the loose ball. Rosson passes up to McRae. McRae brings it over center. McRae, high pass. That's controlled down by Wilkie. Wilkie finding James right in front, but James couldn't find the handle on that. And Garland comes up with the loose ball. Garland pass over to Duggery, but right in his Hayward with the shot and a save. Dietrich right off the bench. Dietrich, she's double team. She'll hold up, set up the offense. Lots of time on the clock, 20 seconds. But missed pass there, and Duggery, she gets rubbed out along the boards, and up with it's Hamilton. Hamilton, Duggery, good job there. Took the stick right out of Hamilton's hands. And we got a penalty coming here. There's a legal cross check is the call. As Hamilton will head to the box, and St. John will head on their first power play of the afternoon with 1:14 remaining in the second period. It's a 6-1 lead for your Sackville Wolves. Corrigan with the ball. Over to Brow. Back to Corrigan. Corrigan up top. Pass over. In motion. Cross. And Hull with the shot in, and Lawler with the save. And that was an in and an out, so it would be of the crease by the Wolves. Corrigan starts off for the Rapids. Cross for Brow. Brow having a look. Back for number 11. Here she got the shot in as Daly. And Lawler equal to the task. Up. And Hovey. Hovey coming in. Hovey killing the penalty. But she'll shoot and scores. Short-handed goal by Brenna Hovey. Here at 39 seconds remaining in the second period. Able to roll off Brow. And just an up and over and a hard shot. Gets it just inside that left post. Had Garland moving to the right. And the shot went left. And make it a 7-1. Yeah. Ball's covered. Oh, it'll go covered by the Wolves. So the ball goes to the Rapids. Rapids with 30 seconds left. Shot in, saved by Lawler. Up with it and back down the floor. Here we go. It's Dyer. Dyer coming in. Dyer in with the shot, and Garland makes the save. Gaines Haas comes up with the loose ball. Haas now rolls up top. Haas looking for some options. It's McKinley. Chases her out. Now Rosson looks to skill off this last second. As Garland takes her hard into the boards. There's a few little light taps. That'll do it for the second period. After 2 periods of play, it's your Sackville Wolves 7, the St. John Rapids 1. We'll have about a 10-minute break, and then we'll be back here for the third and final period of today's contest with 46 seconds remaining in the Wolves penalty. We'll see everybody in about 10 minutes. We'll see some replays and some words from our sponsors. Thank you, everybody. And welcome back to the Greenfoot Energy Center for the third and final period of today's matchup between your Sackville Wolves and the St. John Rapids. Wolves having it their way today. It's 7-1 is the score as Ms. Lawler goes to head back to her office between the pipes. After 2 periods of play, shots have been 51 shots by the Wolves, 13 shots by St. John. St. John with the 7 shots in the second period. 6 of those coming in the last 5 minutes, where Lawler had her work cut out for her. After tough to be a goalie to not see much and then get a bunch of shots, and she was equal to the task in her junior lacrosse debut. In goal is rookie Peyton Lawler in goal for the Wolves. Here we go. Hovey versus O'Brien as the third period is about to begin. Here we go. Battle for the ball. It was covered by Hovey. So here comes Brow and the Rapids on the power play. Hull looks to line up. Hull rolls off. Hull with the shot in. Lawler makes the save and controls the ball in the crease. Looking right away for Miss Maggie McRae. McRae in. McRae to the outside. McRae with the shot. And a save there by Garland. McRae looking to give the Wolves their second shorthanded goal on this penalty, but Garland had other ideas. Here we go. Fournette over for Deacon. Deacon in with a shot. That deflects and bounces wide. And up with it, it's Rosson. Rosson coming back over center. Rosson being chased down by McKinley. And hands the ball off. As the the penalty's over, back to 5-on-5. Over with the shot by Dyer. And Garland makes the save, controls in the crease. Garland looking to airmail it down to Mason. No, McKinley, sorry. Over for 11, that's Daly. Daly. But that's loose ball picked up by Hovey. Hovey coming in, she got Hayward with her. Hovey fires, that's off the post. Battle for the loose ball. And Garland comes up with it. Garland passes up to Corrigan. Corrigan coming down the floor as the defense come on. McRae coming in. McRae blocks that shot. And Lawler comes up with it. Lawler pass back up to Hayward. Hayward sets up the offense for the Wolves. Hayward hands it off to Dietrich. Dietrich rolls back up top. Dietrich back to Wilkie. Wilkie in with the shot. And it's saved by Garland, as that rattles around the legs and keeps it out of the net. Now Garland pass that back up. Another loose ball being chased down by St. John. Harrigan able to roll out from it. But Wolves D smothering there. Is anybody on the ball? That's Rosson. Comes up with it. Rosson rolls off a hit from Dugery. Now Rosson, slow it down. Looking for options, passes over to Martin. Martin, down in the corner. Martin back up top to Hamilton with the shot. That's blocked. And St. John trying to capitalize on the transition, but tied up there. And Lawler passes back up to Haas. Comes back in. As James comes up with it. Lawler sets up a nice pick there. And lets James out of the zone. Now Hannerhan. From the boards, Hannerhan. Pass up to Dyer. Dyer trying to roll down. Her shot goes wide. Has the shot clock expired. Now it'll be St. John ball. 16:26 remaining in the third period. 7-1. The Wolves are leading. As Daly. Nope, that's off. And Calder fired it back down the floor. Picked up by the younger Garland. Cross looking for Corrigan, but can't make the connection. And Dyer on the interception. Dyer, she's checked from behind by McKinley. Dietrich takes her man into the boards as they battle for the ball. Dietrich trying to get that one, and it comes back over. As it would be St. John ball. Corrigan back on the ball. Corrigan trying to get around. That's a nice little ball pop free by Hayward. And Coffin sent Corrigan to the floor. And we got a moving pick, which will give possession back to St. John, but Corrigan going off with a bit of a limp. That's not good news for the Rapids. At 15:36 remaining in the third period, 7-1, the Wolves are leading. As McRae keeps eyes on. Up to O'Brien. O'Brien looking across for Deacon. Ball goes to the boards. As Daly in after it. But retrieved by McRae. McRae up to Hamilton. Hamilton sends it up to Hayward, who puts a shot in, and Garland makes that save. Loose ball off the boards. They battle for the loose ball, picked up by Harrigan and the Rapids. Harrigan coming back down the floor for the Rapids. Harrigan holds up, puts the pass, but that comes back up over center. And it'll be Wolves ball in the offensive zone. As Wilkie goes down to retrieve that in the corner. Wilkie trying to roll off a check. Wilkie up top of the crease. But she's forced inside. Crease violation will give the ball back to St. John. Wilkie on the forecheck. Causing all kinds of issues. She comes up with the ball. Wilkie in tight. Wilkie looks far side, and Garland comes up with a shoulder save. Now O'Brien. So brings it in. Back across from McKinley over to Hull. Hull. Her pass over the head of Brow. The loose ball picked up by Tori Jenkins, and she'll take it up. Jenkins outruns Hull along the boards. Jenkins bring it in. At Hull on the back check, able to chop the ball free. Now St. John trying to bring it back down the floor. Pass across. Looking for Mason. But Nora Haas in there, and Haas comes up with a loose ball. Haas pass that back up to Hayward. Hayward brings it over into St. John territory. Hayward now to Dyer. Dyer up top, setting up the offense. Cross to Martin. Slips off hers. It comes to Coffin. Coffin in behind the net. Coffin back up to Dyer. Dyer with the shot. And scores! Dyer on the feed from Coffin. Right down Main Street and in the back of the net. Is right to Dyer, and Dyer picks that off. Right at the top of the crease. Not much Corrigan could do on that one. And that'll make it an 8-1 game. Wolves leading, and back to center we go as Russon will be coming in to take the face-off. Versus O'Brien. Here we go. Battle for the loose ball, and picked up is McRae. McRae finds Coffin right in tight. Coffin with the shot in, and Corrigan makes the save. Garland makes the save. Why am I saying Corrigan all of a sudden? Now, O'Brien trying to find a way in as Coffin comes on the back check, knocks the ball free, and Hayward will bring it back up over center. Hayward now. Pass across to James. James rolls off a check. James back up to Swinimer. Swinimer comes into the corner. Swinimer looking for a way to drive. Shot on net, and a save by Garland. And it's a through the crease, so it'll be ball to the Rapids. As Mason Gives it off to Garland. Garland looks to airmail it to Hull. She'll bring it up over half. Hull cross, but that's broken up. Hull able to get the ball back. Over to McKinley. McKinley passes that down to Daly. Daly looking right. Hull scores! A nice play by the Rapids. Get them back on the board. And answer back there. All alone on the doorstep like that Amazon package is sitting Hull. And not much Lawler could do on that one as the defense got pulled to the other side of the floor. And Rapids back on the board. They now an 8-2 game. They scored in the first minute of the game. Now Hovey coming into the zone. Hovey shovels that across, but O'Brien knocks that down. And here comes the Rapids back the other way. Rapids up over center. There's 17. Allen giving a bump. Gets over to Deacon. Deacon. Her shot. That's off a player. Deacon trying to get it off along the boards as Hovey comes up with a loose ball. Plays that up. That's off stick. And Desjardins trying to come up with that loose ball as McRae takes her hard into the boards. Rapids back into Wolves territory as Fournette tries to get away. Fournette passes off to the side for Mason. To Daly. Daly loads up. Daly fires. And a nice chicken wing save there. As Lawler passes up to Hayward. And Hayward will jog into Rapid territory. Hayward has a look. Hayward trying to catch Martin in front. Shot in, and Garland makes the save. As Coffin gets the loose ball in the corner. Coffin back up top, looking. A shot in by Wilkie, that goes wide. It's Hayward. Collects the loose ball off the boards. Hayward now, 16 seconds left in the clock. As pass gets by. And that's back over center. As St. John looks to start off. Ball knocked free. Picked up by Hamilton. Hamilton coming down along the boards. She takes a chop from Corrigan. Knocks the ball free. As Desjardins, St. John's defensive specialist, looks to find that loose ball. Fournette comes up with it. Fournette around behind her own net, trying to find a way to get away from Dyer. Fournette now fires it in, looking for Brow. That bounces over her head, and Lawler takes control. Off to Swinimer. Swinimer for the Wolves, brings it up over center. Swinimer hands off to Dyer. Dyer looking for a lane, gets a pick. Dietrich in. Dietrich turns, fires. That's turned aside by Garland. Swinmer comes up with the ball. Fresh 30 on the clock. As coming in tight is James. James fires. And Garland, equal to the task, makes the save. And Brow comes back down the floor for St. John. Dyer stands her up. Brow looks to get the pass off. That's a loose ball coming in. That's corralled by McKinley. Deacon can't find the handle on that one. And back down the floor it goes. James passes back to Martin. Martin's got to chase that one to the corner. Desjardins on her. Martin scoops up. Martin slips around behind the net. Martin coming around. Fire! And that's turned aside. Martin collects the ball from the board. 6 seconds left in the clock. As we got to get a shot on net. As Wilkie. Shot goes wide. And that will be St. John ball. And we got our halftime goalie break. So, with half of a third period to go, 9:01 to go, I should say. It's an 8-2 lead for the Wolves as we get set to go into the final bit of this game. And say thank you again to Maritime Athletic Profiles for allowing me to come and do the play-by-play here. It's great to have the Sunday afternoon for this great game. Currently, right now, it's 60 shots by the Wolves, 17 shots taken by the St. John. As the goalie, Kat Garland, has been the busiest player on the floor by far, as the Wolves have pelted the shots in, and they've got 8 goals to show for it on the board. But my God, 60 shots is a lot of rubber that goalie has seen. And kudos to Ms. Peyton Lawler and her, the goalie for the Wolves in her junior debut. That's seeing 17 shots from this veteran Rapid team as we go down. Megan Hull was the goal scorer for St. John on assists from Daly and McKinley. As that was a good passing play that they drew everybody, the Wolves D, to the far side and left Hull all alone. Nothing that Lawler could have done on that one. As they get called back to the floor, we're back in action here. St. John will have get the ball in there, and Ms. McRae just looking to ruin somebody's day for him, sure. But and she does, as she blocks the pass there. Battle for the loose ball, and over to Hovey with the ball. Hovey, her pass blocked. Now cross. As the Wolves coming in, 20 seconds on the shot clock. And a quick shot there by Dietrich. That's gobbled up by Garland. And back we come. It's the Rapids. Looking up to Harrigan. Harrigan trying to come in. It's a good back check by Swinnemer. Pops the ball free. And the Wolves back on it. Coming back down the floor is Rosson. Holds up, Rosson. Looking for a lane in. Rosson gets around Bro. Puts a shot in, scores! Mackenzie Rosson on the transition. Faked like she was slowing down, but she hit the gas instead. And able to get around the defender and get the hard shot in and find the back of the twine. At 8-12, it's still now a 9-2 lead for your Sackville Wolves. As we got no rest, Russell right back in. And McRae picks up the loose ball. And it looks like McRae forced back over center. So, possession. St. John with possession as Bro trying to keep Coffin off the ball carrier. And right in is McRae. And back up with the ball is Hull. And Hull gets this sent to the floor by Dyer. Now, Calder comes up with the loose ball for the Wolves. Defensive specialist Calder gets a pass across for Hayward. Hayward trying to find the handle on that one. She does. As Hayward rolls away from Fournette. Pass across to Martin. Martin up top. Back to Hayward. Hayward now to Hamilton, but that's picked off by Fournette momentarily. And now coming down the floor, St. John one-handed, and James attempts to take the ball away there as Fournette trying to get it up top. And the ball goes through, and Wilkie trying to find a handle on that. Hovey comes up with it. Hovey has Wilkie in behind. Hovey don't pass. Hovey looking for the shot. But now gets over to Wilkie in the corner. Wilkie in tight shot, and it's a save by Garland, and she'll hold on. Now Garland looking for her target. Looks to send it down. And O'Brien brings it into Wolves territory. O'Brien hands it off to Deacon. Deacon challenged by Hannerhan right away. And McRae pops it free. McRae comes up with that loose ball, as she tends to do. And McRae was not happy about being taken into the boards. And A swing with the elbow finds her way into the penalty box. So it's 6:27 remaining in the third and final period. St. John will go on their second power play of the game, as Deacon will start off for St. John. Deacon coming right down. Her pass, Hovey blocked that. Rosson comes up with a loose ball. Now Rosson, she's away. Corrigan trying to. Now Rosson takes it to the corner. Rosson looking to kill off this penalty here, as St. John, younger Garland, trying to get that ball free, and finally does. As now we got a penalty coming. As Rosson got the cross check to the numbers, and St. John's will head to the box now. As I'm guessing that's Garland from the. No, it's Corrigan is the one heading to the box. It's we go to 4-on-4 for the next minute and 25, and of the players that St. John could have in the box, Corrigan is not one of them. That's ball goes into the corner. Hayward comes up with a loose ball. Hayward rolls back out, gets a pick from Dyer. Hovey with the ball. Hovey turns and fires. Garland steers that one aside. Crease violation by the Wolves will give the ball to St. John. St. John looking to get up the floor. Oh, St. John coming in. We got Hull in behind, but Hayward picks off that pass. Now Hayward back down the floor the other way. Hayward has Dyer to the outside. Dyer with the ball. Dyer with the shot, and then Garland made the save. As coming in hard, Allen pushed off the ball, but Garland comes up with the loose ball in the crease. Now Garland fires that up. It's off Hull's stick. Dyer looking for that loose ball, and Dyer taken into the boards, and that'll be an illegal contact. Getting close to penalty territory, but didn't. Dyer feeling some effects of that one. Hustles off the floor as Dietrich with the ball. Dietrich cross from Martin. That's just up over her head. And Garland takes control. Garland passes that one up to Hull. Hull looks to get Brow on the move. Brow's got to chase that ball down to the corner as Hannerhan and Jenkins. Jenkins takes her hard into the boards. Still that loose ball battle as the clock ticks down. Harrigan comes up with it for St. John as Jenkins pops that ball free. And James up with the ball now as McRae is back out of the box. Power play for 15 seconds for the Wolves as James looks to set everybody up. Back up top to James. James to Haas. Haas coming in. Haas with the shot. That's blocked in front. Deflects wide as Corrigan, if she was paying some more attention, she could have got a breakaway out of that one as she left the box. And the shot clock expires, and that'll be Corrigan will pick that up for St. John. Now Corrigan. Cross for Hull. And Hovey on the spot there. Hit Hull, so she couldn't get the shot away. Swinmer coming back down the floor. 3.5 minutes left in the game. It's a 9-2 lead for the Wolves. As Swinmer up top. Swinner passes down to the corner. Rolling out from the corner up to Dyer. Dyer. Quick to Coffin. Coffin looks across. And that's off a leg and bouncing ball as it comes back across center. But that's a shot clock expires. And that will be St. John ball as Deacon comes in to pick that up. Haas ready to ruin somebody's day. Deacon rolls to the outside. Deacon tries to pass across, but Hayward gets in that way and picked up by Nora Haas. Hayward hustles down looking for the loose ball in the corner. Hayward takes a stick across the back of the head James takes the pass off the boards. James looking back. Rolling up. And a shot in there by Hamilton. That goes wide. The shot clock's about to expire. St. John will get the ball. 2:26 left in the game, 9-2. Wolves leading. As St. John plays it down. McRae facing off against Hull. Hull looking for some room. Hull passes across. Hayward right on her man. As a ball knocked loose. Hayward comes up with it. Hayward now slips the ball up across for Hannerhan. Hannerhan. Hand off to Mullen. Up top. Back to Wilkie. Wilkie trying to roll in underneath. She's forced to the outside by Deacon. Wilkie back up top again. Wilkie gets it to Dyer. Dyer turns and fires. And that goes wide. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Another shot in. That goes wide. Another shot in. Doesn't hit the mark either. And that'll be with 1:28 remaining in the game. It's O'Brien for the Rapids. Playing it back down the floor as the Rapids try to get possession here. There's 17, Allen trying to get on that ball, but coming back the other way once again is Rosson and the Wolves. Rosson trying to get off a Corrigan hit there. Rosson in for Hamilton, and that's turned aside by Garland. As the younger Garland looking to come out, and Hovey sends her to the floor, and she is not going to like that. As Martin comes up with the ball, he gets a little stick whack for her efforts. Here we go. Final 35 seconds here. It's Hamilton. Gets that to Martin. Now down low. There's James. Coming all the way around. James trying to do a bank shot at the final second, but that doesn't work. And now, with 16 seconds left, St. John looking for one more on net as ball's knocked loose, and Nora Haas comes up with it. And Haas will just shoot that in as the clock expires and make the final. Sackville Wolves win and score of 9-2. And Miss Peyton Lawler gets her first win as a junior lacrosse player. Congratulations, Peyton. And congratulations to all the Wolves for a good outing today. Is one thing I think Coach Lavong will want to talk about is not giving up the first goal every game. But the Wolves remain undefeated in 7 games in this season as they send St. John home winless on their road trip and the Wolves extend their winning streak to 7 games this season. And they want to keep that perfect record going. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thanks for taking some time out of your Sunday afternoon spend with us. We hope we had entertained the show and hope you had as much fun watching it as we had bringing it to you. Take care, everybody, and we'll see you next time on Maritime Athletic Profiles back at the Sackville Arena in Lower Sackville. This is Larry McVicker, Larry Cherry, and the rest of the crew and production here at Maritime Athletic Profiles. Wish you a happy week, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, and until next time, we'll see you then. Thanks, everybody.